And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, it is Sunday as we record this. It's been an hour. How are you today, my friend?
Brad, I'm doing so well. It is great to see you. Very professorial today. I love the glasses. You and I had a really good conversation about glasses before we clicked record, and how you get them and they seem to fit properly, but then over the span of a few weeks and months, the adjustments are needed. But you look great. I feel great. I think you got the Orange Cassidy tee on today. I am debuting the 19 Media tee. I think this is the first time I've worn it. Thank you. Shout out to Jabari Davis and company for sending this to Arizona, to Glendale specifically. So yeah, man, I'm doing so well, and I am incredibly excited about this episode for myriad reasons. How are you, my dude?
Doing okay, man. It's been busy around here. Trying to salvage as much of this pallet wood from the rocks for the backyard as possible. Has been an absolute grind, and it's Arizona. It's July. It is death outside. So it's been a lot, but it's also been really nice. We have Jess's brother is in town visiting, and we've been spending a lot of time with family, and it's been really nice. Spent a good night at the Desert Museum last night, and just walking around at night. For people that are listening that don't live here, if you're ever in the Tucson area, the Sonoran Desert Museum is a must. And if you find yourself stuck here in the summer, first of all, I'm sorry, and second of all, they're open at night, and it's a lot of fun walking around at night. As soon as that thunderstorm kind of kicked up, and we had a whole bunch of cold air coming in off of it, it was perfect. Couple of little sprinkles of rain and nothing major, but man, that wind felt great. Dropped about 10 degrees. It was a really nice night last night.
That's amazing. We didn't get much of a thunderstorm here, unfortunately, but I think I mentioned to you I've been to the Desert Museum once, and it was a really lovely outing. I think it was also during the summer when I went. But yeah, man, it was a great time, and I love hearing that Freya just adores that place. So that must make it even sweeter.
Yes, the Stingray touch. Big fan. Going out, stick her hands into the Stingray pit and get to touch them as they swim by. And then there's a pack rat. It's called the Pack Rat Playhouse. It's like climbing stuff, and there's a bunch of educational things on the outside the kids like to go and play with and take a look at. Yeah, it's a good time. It's worth the year-long membership for us because we go a lot, and it's just like, hey, it's the weekend. You want to go out and do something? Sure, let's go to the Desert Museum. And it's fun.
There are worse things you could spend your money on. Yeah. Absolutely. Being outside, supporting such a great place. I love hearing that. Speaking of Freya, Brad, not only did I see Freya last weekend, I saw Jess, one of the great co-hosts of Small Town USA. I saw you. I was in Tucson. We went to a WWE house show.
Yes, we did. Sunday Stunner was amazing. We got we got a pay-per-view card, probably better than the last pay-per-view card.
We got to run through it, right, Brad? I put this in our notes here. I'm sure you can go off of memory, but I had to write it down. We had from the top, and please feel free to jump in. Maybe I'll read the first half of the card, and then I'll pass it off to you. Man, there was no wasted time on this card. The opener was Drew McIntyre defeating Sheamus. So once Sarah Schreiber came out and gave the official welcome to everyone in attendance at the Tucson Arena, we got a promo from Drew. And I forget if this was actually before or after Sarah, but we saw Drew on the screen. He was in the backstage parking lot area of TCC, and just gave a total babyface promo. And Brad, I don't think you, nor I, nor anyone we went with, Carlos, Carl, Ben and Katie Anderson, etc., I don't think any of us had on our bingo card that Drew McIntyre was the first wrestler we were going to see emanate from the entrance stage.
Absolutely not.
He beat Sheamus. I think you said this match went about 15 to 20 minutes,
It
right?
was 20
It really
minutes.
had time.
It was 20 minutes. Yeah, we got a 20-minute match between
So
Sheamus and
good.
Drew. And listen, if I were to see this at SummerSlam on the card, I would be pissed. I would be pissed because we've seen it on TV so much. But because I knew they were going to give us a house show match, a wrestling match, and just they're there to entertain us. There's no pressure. It's just them, and they know each other so well. They got to get in all of their stuff. We got the Sheamus beating on the chest counts. We got claymores. We got DDTs. It ruled, man. It was a lot of fun. Sheamus just a great heel who got an enormous pop because I don't know. There was probably a lot of people in attendance that didn't pick up on the clues in Drew's promo of who was going to fight because we knew right away. Like he said, I've known this person for 18 years, yada, yada. And it was like, all right, well, it's Sheamus. This is going to be great. We're getting Drew and Sheamus at a house show. So it was amazing. It was great. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I completely agree. Drew, it was great to see Drew get that reaction as well, that babyface reaction from the crowd. And man, just what a fun opener. After that, we had the Vicious Viking Raiders. They are now total heels. They defeated our guys, man. They defeated the New Day. I think the New Day entrance was one of your biggest pops of the night. What did you think of this match?
It was for sure my biggest pop of the night, outside of one we'll get to later. I thought the match was fine. It was a lot of fun. I loved Woods being Maximum Woods in there and getting the "you suck" chants going. And
didn't he point at Eric and Ivar and say, "Boo this man, Tucson,"
boo this man twice,
and then
boo this man.
just had us in the palm of his hand.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was so much fun. The trombone, the entrance, Kofi absolutely going off in this match. Loved that. We were convinced we were going to be like, all right, we're not going to get a lot of like crazy spots. It's a house show. They're going to protect their people. We found out in the second half what the main event was going to be, but I liked this. This was fun. And I'll comment on the format later on.
Yeah, I think we're going to probably get this at a major show at some point, maybe even as soon as SummerSlam. I'm really glad that you and I agreed. I think Carlos was sitting in between us, but I think you and I agreed on this, that it's great to see the Viking Raiders back in a role of prominence. And even though as fans we love them, this is a great spot for them to turn heel. Brad, I think this was an underrated pop of the night. Our next match, Jinder Mahal came out, cut. I don't know if it was a super heel promo, but his entrance music played and a lot of the crowd booed. And I think you and I did like our golf applause because we appreciate not only the sheer girth of this man, but I don't know that his title reign was as abhorrent as the general public
absolutely not
would say. No. And I think in terms of representation and I'm higher on Jinder than most. But Jinder comes out, he cuts his promo. He's the modern day Maharaja. He's going to get back on a winning streak. And then Brad, underrated, one of the biggest pops of the night, Shinsuke Nakamura comes out.
I think this may have been my biggest pop, to be honest with you, because I love Shinsuke.
Yes,
the disrespect that he has seen in the WWE, calling him the king of strong style on commentary. That's great. That's cool. Do something. Like put him, get the strap on this man. Not just the IC belt, which you've grounded to oblivion, not the US title, which you've made pointless. No. I want Shinsuke as champion. The pop that he got from the crowd was insane, but I think he's one of those ones. I just love watching him work, but his entrance is always so great. I was excited that we all got to sing, Tyler. That was one of the best moments of the night. He came in. You were like, I hope we get the spot. I hope he does the thing with his hands. And we absolutely got it.
Yes.
We absolutely got it. It was a great match. It was a lot of fun. Jinder had the upper hand for the bulk of it, and Shinsuke came away with the win. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well said. I have nothing to add there. That was a blast. After this was the next match, and then we had an intermission. Brad, this far and away was the match of the night for me, as you may know. To our surprise, we had a fatal four-way or a four-way dance, I like to say.
So good.
For the Raw Women's title, not advertised whatsoever. So Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair was here, which one of my favorite moments of the night, seeing her. And she defended against Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. And now if I can go in reverse, Brad, how this played out was, correct me if I'm wrong, Becky Lynch, I believe, was the first entrance.
Becky's music hit. Yeah.
Huge pop from the crowd. She was advertised.
Yeah.
But again, the beauty of house shows is that we don't know the order. We don't know the match card. It just adds so much to the enjoyment and the magic of the night.
So this was the first one that we didn't get what was happening. So everything else was announced. It was the following is scheduled for one fall. The following is a tag team match. This one, it was silence, and then Becky's music hit, and it was amazing.
Yeah. She is not only a phenomenal wrestler, but seems like a pretty extraordinary person out of the ring as well. So Becky arrives, then Carmella arrives. And again, the awesome crew that we had, I think a lot of us were looking at each other and thinking, oh, is this a heel versus heel? Becky versus Carmella? Again, Becky, a heel who we love, but it's kind of an interesting matchup. Brad, it was not a singles match because Asuka's music plays after Carmella. I saw you pop for this, Brad. Please tell me your thoughts now that you've had a week to reflect on it.
Again, I love Asuka. I don't know. I think since getting back into wrestling, I think I've really gravitated towards strong style. And to see a bunch of older Asuka matches as Kana in just doing Joshi stuff, getting her ass kicked by Minoru Suzuki, like pummeled, where people were like, this is very uncomfortable. You should not be doing it. It's like, buddy, she booked that match to be like that. She was like, beat the piss out of me. You have to. You're a bad guy. And it was awesome. Knowing that, otherwise I would be like, this is real bad.
Yeah. I one of those clips just appeared on my timeline again this past weekend. Yeah, it's pretty unforgettable. It's pretty unforgettable, right?
Yeah, it's hard to look at. It's hard to watch, but knowing that that's why she wanted it to be like that is the point.
I didn't realize that.
Because what a comeback for her, right? Like you're getting pummeled by this brutal legend, and you can come out of that anyway. Her run in WWE, her character is just so different. I liked the one line face paint Asuka better than the drippy goo Asuka. I don't really understand it. Yeah. But her look as like Joker Asuka, good Lord. I loved it. She came out, Empress of Tomorrow City, mask on, took the mask off.
Did the mask off. So
mask
cool.
off. Everybody went crazy.
Yes, they did.
This, I don't know. This might have been one of the biggest pops of the night. Like even bigger than when Bianca came out, because Bianca was expected. That was the great thing. That's what I wanted to say about the format. I guess I'll talk about it now. Is what I loved about this, and I know we agree, is the not knowing. It's every single match was a Royal Rumble surprise entrant because we simply had no idea who was going to be there. We didn't know who the opponents were for Bianca, for Becky, for Seth, for Drew. We just knew they were going to be on the card, and for all we knew, they were facing each other. So when all of these other things started happening, it was like, this is insane. We're getting a fatal 4-way for the women's title match, which of course we know Bianca's winning this, but it doesn't matter. The person that came out after Becky was Carmella, to polite applause. It wasn't exactly a nuclear thunderous pop for Carmella. Here's what I liked about the match besides how it was set up. Bianca in the corner, stacking everybody. Bianca just doing insane athletic things. Becky getting her heel stuff in, surprise manhandle slams, selling us a ticket. But Carmella was it for me. And this is what I learned from it. Number one, we knew Carmella could go. Carmella is awesome. But her character it feels a little too attitude era in a bad way than anything else. It doesn't seem like it's her fault. She's making the best of it. I hate watching Carmella on my screen when she screams. It is so goddamn annoying. Like I want to mute it. And then I heard her live, and it's perfect. It's so funny and so over the top. She knows exactly what she's doing in there. It's such a great heel thing for her to just be like squealy whiny in the ring. Like, what are you doing? And going, ah, her screams toward the end when she was just yelling I popped so loudly, sitting in our kind of quasi back front row seats. I don't even know how to
Yeah,
describe
we didn't
these.
even mention the seats. Our seats
Great
were pretty
seats.
nice.
Our seats were great. Probably about 80 to 100 feet from the ring is my guess. They were really nice and on the floor. So it was a lot of fun. Man, I had a blast watching this match. I'm with you. This is the match of the night for me.
Yeah, 100%. Carmella got a great reaction, particularly off the spot you're talking about with the scream. Becky's over, Asuka's over, and by the end of the match,
the Asuka flourish too, man. The spinning fist and the kicks, man.
So good. I mean, these are just 4 complete professionals.
Yeah.
Again, you and I are high on Carmella. I know when you're in the ring with 3 just gigantic stars like that, I think you wonder, can Carmella hang with them? But I think time after time, she's proven that she is just great at what she does. And like you said, regardless of the gimmick, the character she's given, it seems like she always makes it work one way or another.
If they can tweak that gimmick, she's I mean,
so reliable.
She's let's be honest. When she's saying like she's the most beautiful woman in WWE, I'm not going to sit here and say that. A, subjective. B, that's a heel thing. C, she might be right. You don't need to have her come out as the most beautiful woman. Just that's stupid. Have her come out as something else. That Mela is money. There's something there that they're not using because Mela is money. It's simple. Have her do something related to that rather than this thing. Her coming out and dancing and oh god, I hate when people lip sync. I hate that shit so much. You know my thoughts.
I'm getting flashbacks to
Scarlett.
The early episodes of Gimmick Infringement. Shout out to our longtime listeners and viewers. Man, this is taking me back to November 2021. NXT Black and Gold. Karrion Kross.
Fall and pray. How did they ruin that guy? Anyway,
makes no sense. Bianca hit the KOD on Carmella to pick up the win. So many great spots in this match involving all of the women. For sure, the match of the night, Brad. And my final point here is that I was so glad to see Bianca as the, for me, really the biggest star on this entire card. After the match, she did the traditional babyface move of signing autographs, taking pictures with so many kids ringside. And it was just clear to me, man, she's really ascended to being just one of the faces of the company. Yeah. I was so high on her back in NXT, but I wasn't sure if this was going to translate to the main roster and if she would be given this platform. But yeah, it's exceeded my expectations, and I am just so elated that she has been given this spot that she's so clearly earned. But after this match, Brad, we had an intermission, and then we come back. Final 3 matches. We start with Omos, who defeated Cedric Alexander. Brad, you and I got to see Cedric Alexander live, which was awesome. I think our listeners and viewers would probably guess this accurately. He did lose in a squash match. I think my favorite part of this match, though, Brad, occurred before the bell rang.
Oh, yeah.
MVP cut a relatively short but great heel promo on the city and residents of Tucson, Arizona.
Yes, he said the air is dry as the women. And that really got a reaction from the crowd. And that wasn't even the first boo he got.
And they were chanting for him before that.
Yes, they said MVP. He said, I appreciate it. And then he went off on people.
So good. People love MVP.
He got nuclear heat in about 30 seconds, right? Like it didn't take him long at all. I was bummed that it was Cedric against Omos. I wish it was Cedric against Ricochet or somebody else. Would have been an incredible match. Instead, we got Omos getting ring time and ring experience, killing one of the best workers in the world. I will say that I could not believe my eyes because I couldn't, from where we were sitting, we couldn't really see anybody enter. We could see maybe the tippy top of Drew's head when he came out. But we couldn't really see anybody enter because it was too low. Right. Omos's head was above the middle rope when he came out. To see him enter the ring, that is a monstrous human being.
Yeah, I can now totally appreciate the spectacle of Omos. I mean, that dude has to be a legit 7'3". It was jarring to see. Again, so happy we got to see Cedric live as well. But this match is what we expected. I think all of us in our row agreed. Oh yeah, this is going to be a squash, and hopefully it's a fun one, which I think it was.
Yeah, it was fun.
After that, Brad, we got to see Ricochet live. This
was your biggest pop.
You got
up and you were yelling. Like I thought you were going to leap the guardrail. when the music popped off. You got up and you were like, ah, ah. I was going for it.
That's hilarious. Thank you for that. I did not see this coming. Again, this goes back to what you said, that Royal Rumble type feel of, I know the last time WWE was in Tucson, I was not there, but I heard from a reliable source that the first match was Cesaro versus Ricochet, which please sign me up for that. I will pay to watch that match. But I had a feeling maybe Ricochet would be back. He was here. Huge pop for me. Unfortunately, though, he ran up against the unmovable object that is our Intercontinental Champion, Gunther.
I can't believe we got to see him live, too.
Gunther, Walter, whatever you want to call him these days.
Kaiser was in there.
Was in Tucson. Yes. And then his the perfect manager that is Ludwig. He was fantastic. Great heel work from him. Brad, this is, for me, this was a dream match. I know we've already seen it on SmackDown when Ricochet dropped the belt to Gunther, but to see both of these dudes live and to hear, I'm going to borrow your tweet here, to hear a Gunther chop and to see a Ricochet sell live was worth the price of my ticket.
Yeah, it was one of the loudest things that I've ever heard. I think I said it was the loudest thing I've heard since dropping the shampoo bottle in the shower. It was legitimately like, I can't explain to people. I don't even know how to put it into context. There were a lot of thuds onto the mat that night. There were a lot of hitting, like just selling it by, like, I'm Drew's Claymore. Perfect timing, hitting the chest or the leg or whatever he hits to make that smacking sound. Pretty loud. Nothing was this loud. This was the loudest thing of the evening. This is all I could think is like his poor family after that chop. It was absurd how loud it was, but it was a blast.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And predictably, this was for the IC title, actually. Predictably, right. Gunther wins. Great powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. Final match of the card. I'm not going to be long-winded with this one, Brad. Seth Rollins faced Riddle in a Tucson street fight. We got a table spot. We saw some chairs. Riddle won.
Yes.
The crowd goes home happy. The babyface wins, 1, 2, 3. I kind of struggle with Riddle. I know that he is a phenomenal wrestler. He was, to me, by far the biggest. I think between him and Drew, the two biggest babyfaces on the men's side that we saw. So I think he has big things ahead of him. Yeah. Riddle, that is.
I agree.
But his out of the ring stuff, I don't know really how to feel about him. At least some of the accusations. But great main event for what it was. I love Seth. It was awesome seeing him live. And we got a table spot, and the crowd demanded it, Brad. Yes. So I don't have much more to add to it. I thought this was a fun main event. Part of me would have wanted Seth to go home happy, but I know that probably wasn't realistic because the kids have to leave happy. What did you think of this main event?
I thought it was a blast. I have nothing to add. It was a fun way to go home. The good guy won. I wanted to see Seth win, but
we got to sing though.
Like a stomp. We did get to sing. That was awesome.
That was.
Lots of bro chants.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. Like he kicked off the flip-flops. All of it was a lot of fun. The live event was a spectacle. I can absolutely see how different going to a live event is as opposed to watching on TV. I think on TV at home, you have too much time to think about all the stuff that led to these moments. But I could tell you that if I were watching something in storyline that I thought was trash, I would have a hard time. If there was a distraction finish or somebody just ran out down the ramp to end a match at a house show, I'd have been pissed. So that's part of the reason I like this so much is we didn't have any of that tomfoolery happening that we often get with WWE booking.
Yeah, totally agree. An underrated part of the main event for me was the Riddle Orton spots where he was channeling his inner Randy, the scoop slam, the DDT, and he won off of an RKO, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he did. Going to the place,
it was
pounding the mat.
Those popped me more than I thought they would live, and he was just so over.
Yeah,
for this Tucson crowd, it was a blast.
Absolutely.
This night even exceeded my high expectations. I had a total blast.
I did too. Freya. The final thought here. Freya thought we were going to a movie theater to watch wrestling and didn't realize we were going to see real wrestlers. And she was pretty bummed that she wasn't there. So the next live event, it will be with Freya. I don't know if we're doing the superstar package. I don't know if we're going at all at this point. Given that it's not free. But it'll happen at some point down the road. We will sell the house if an AEW show comes. Yeah, it was a blast, but she was sad because she didn't get to see Bianca. But in better news, and I guess she did ask if Danhausen was there, and I told her no, because she doesn't understand the differences between the companies yet. Huge Danhausen mark in the house. But the first thing we have to do, Tyler, is question one. We haven't gotten to our questions. We are 20 minutes deep into this thing. It's time for you to hit me with question one.
Yeah, Brad, we're going to try out a new format this week. Our first questions for each other are going to be WWE focused. We put out a poll on Twitter. If you're not following the pod, please do at GIPod19. And there is a desire, Brad, according to this poll, for us to continue, if not increase, our non-wrestling segments and to increase our WWE talk. So we are going to do just that. My first question for you is reflecting on Money in the Bank, last week's premium live event. Specifically, the first match. My question for you, my friend. How hopeful are you that our new SmackDown Women's Champion, Liv Morgan, will get a substantial title run? I ask that for two reasons. One, because it's been announced that she will be defending her title against Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam at the end of the month in Nashville, Tennessee. And secondly, if we think back to just a year ago, Nikki ASH cashed in her Money in the Bank. I believe it was the Raw directly following the Money in the Bank event. She cashed it in on Charlotte, won, and then dropped it at SummerSlam. So once again, my question for you, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. How hopeful are you that Liv Morgan will get a substantial title run, meaning beyond SummerSlam?
I'm not hopeful at all that it'll be substantial. I think it'll go past SummerSlam. I think she beats Ronda. I think she has to beat Ronda, because right now there's what have they done to kind of legitimize Liv Morgan? She almost lost in her cash-in to Ronda.
Were you worried? Because I was.
Yes,
I thought they were going to have her. I thought they were going to have her tap out to a wounded Ronda, and then I was just going to leave my couch and just go meditate for a while.
So I think it could happen where here's what I think might happen. They might do the flip-flop thing like what they did with Bianca, and Ronda wins, takes the strap, but she does it turning full heel. Like she cheats and then wins, and people boo her, and then we get a rematch between them at some point down the line, and Liv legitimately wins it back. Was SummerSlam is when Becky returned, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Sasha versus Bianca was advertised. No Sasha, and then
Becky came out.
Becky arrived and manhandles. I forgot about that moment. I was not happy.
No, the night was over at that point for me. I did not care about anything else that happened. So I have a really hard time with that. So I'm not hopeful at all. There's what I think they should do, but they're not going to listen to me. In fact, Vince is probably going to go out to announce it. What do you think?
Vince McMahon in the news again. I'm not very hopeful at all for this one, but I
love Liv though.
I was going to say, to me, I was just so happy that Liv won the briefcase. I did not predict that. I did not expect that. If they're going to give Liv the briefcase, not only give it to her, but then she cashes in later that night and she's now champion. I think, to me, she's one of those talents that has become undeniable at this point. She seems beloved backstage with her coworkers. She's clearly put in the work to get better. She is a phenomenal champion. So I am not hopeful, but like you, I will predict that she beats Ronda at SummerSlam. And if she doesn't, I am again going to be thoroughly disappointed at the biggest party of the summer.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it here. I was looking at the card the other day. I retweeted it, and right now it looks like it's just so many rematches. There's 1.5 matches so far announced that are not rematches. We have Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. At least this time they threw in a wrinkle and gave us a last man standing match. That could be really interesting. We have Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey, which is why it's 1.5 non-rematches. Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin is far and away the one that I'm looking the most forward to.
Wow.
Don't answer that yet, because that's my question for you.
I got you.
This is my transition. United States champion Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. We already saw that. And then the Usos versus the Street Profits. We already saw that. They ended with that funky ending. So I understand why they're doing the rematch. I just don't know why it didn't happen on the following Raw.
That was such a great match.
It was a
Especially
great match.
The second half, Montez Ford just, Brad, if I can quote you here, just floating through the air. I'm so curious. I know we'll get to this at a later episode of GI, but I'm so curious if this means that either the Street Profits are going to be coronated. I mean, they've already been champs, but going to be coronated, or if this leads to their split. I think equal possibilities for either outcome.
Right. So what so far is the match you're most looking forward to? That's my question.
That's tough. I honestly would say it's Liv versus Ronda.
Not I.
You got Corbin versus McAfee. I understand that.
Baron Corbin is probably the most underappreciated wrestler they have on that roster right now. That's not good. New. He's been around for years. He's an incredible worker. They just have him doing dumb gimmicks all the time. It seems like King Corbin was stupid. And then you have him doing this Happy Corbin shit. Dude, Sad Corbin was awesome. That was a great gimmick. It was super over in the best way, even though he was being booed. Like, people weren't booing that man. The Thunderdome was booing that man. People weren't booing that man. That was a great gimmick. Everybody loved to see him have to eat crow and go out there. He's like, I lost everything. Instead of like he just won at a casino one night. Doesn't make any sense. And it's stupid, but he's so good at what he does. I want to see him just go, you know what? Forget it. I'm a boxer. I'm a legit boxer. I have won things. I'm done with this stuff. And have him go back to kind of when he had hair into that mode. But the
lone wolf.
Yes, but get him more on the stick and not be the lone wolf, because that's dumb. I like the wolf motif thing that he has going, but the lone wolf is just such a like an 80s metal band. It's not good. And we know that Pat will be able to sell it on the mic. I think both of them having a mic battle to set it up is going to be great. People are going to want to see McAfee win. I don't think he wins this one. I don't think they can have him win this one because he's already beaten Austin Theory, which I think is his only blemish this year so far in singles competition. I might be wrong.
Mr. Money in the Bank.
Mr. Money in the Bank. Yes. Outside of losing to Lashley. But like, they erased it right away by having him win the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I hate the surprise entrance stuff because it's a guarantee. Yeah, a guarantee. Their surprises aren't surprises anymore. Ronda showed up. All right, Ronda's winning. Yep. Brock's in it now. All right, Brock is winning. Yep. Theory is here. All right, Theory's winning. It's just dumb.
Without creating a 90-minute episode of GI, I will just say that I completely second that. I think it just totally takes away from any build that you had going into the match. Exactly. I was at SmackDown where they had this senseless battle royal, and then the main event was the 4-way. The winner gets into the Money in the Bank. Madcap Moss wins. Good for him. Yay for building new stars. But I feel like you take away all of that by Adam Pearce announcing, oh, we have one surprise entrant. Who can it be? Bray Wyatt? Brad, is this when we get Bray Wyatt back?
Yeah.
Our 20th prediction that this will be him. No, it was Theory, and then Theory ends up winning, and it just...
I heard people chanting Cody, and I was like, there ain't no way Cody's walking through that door.
I thought about it for a moment. WWE just has this, I don't want to call it a fetish, but it seems like we start out the night really hot. Liv Morgan wins. Awesome. And then we end with something that's going to make your fan base very upset. And not just because it's a heel who won, boo, but the damage it does for, like, why did you, again, it's exactly what you said. Ronda shows up, Brock shows up. It's just, it really does so much harm, I think, and just so bad for fan service. But
Well,
here
it's
we are.
because nobody there's no accountability there. There's no damn accountability. An NDA, if you will. Moving on. We are heading
I see
into
what you did there.
Thank you. We are heading into Stranger Things Part 2.
Oh,
Tyler.
did I get your question? Your question one for WWE? Was it
Yeah,
which match I'm
what
most looking forward to?
Yeah, and you said
Okay. I
that was
answered
question
it.
one. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we're good. That's why I said it's my transition into my question.
Beautiful. I'm ready for
Yeah.
Stranger.
Yeah, Stranger Things. We are going to talk about Part 2. Here we go. Tyler, I watched this morning. This morning, I sent you a text saying that I was curled up in the fetal position, essentially, ugly crying on my couch as I write down a timestamp. For those of you that have not seen this yet, skip ahead. I don't know how long. Check the chapters for this and skip to the next section because we are going to be spoiling things. Okay, that was enough time. If you're still here, Eddie died. Max is in a coma. I thought she was dead. Well, she technically.
Bones were snapped.
Bones were snapped pretty horrifically.
Eyeballs.
Her eyes were all jacked up. Vecna City. Man, it just knowing that he's all of it. He is responsible for just all of it. Is what a good way to build a villain. This is talk about long-term storytelling here. We have all of this stuff coming together. Finally, an explanation of why this thing is so intent on attacking 11. It's because it didn't really make any sense to me at the outset. It's like, why is it going after her? Like, wouldn't it go away from her and find an easier entry point into the world? Like, why Hawkins? Why can't it be like, I don't know, Siberia? And then just come in totally uninterrupted. It doesn't make any sense.
I can appreciate a good Siberia reference. Yes.
Yes, of course. But like for real, like under the ocean, there's no water in your world. Not really. So just crack a seam in the ocean and come through the ocean floor. Nobody will ever even know you're coming. But I loved this. This season was probably the best season since maybe season 1. I thought this was I thought it was solid. I saw somebody say something about representation. I don't know if any of that is true, and I'm not going to speak on that because I thought Lucas got some great screen time, and I have been trying to scream to the heavens to make Erica a bigger part of the show. Boy, did we get that this year. I freaking love her. She's the best character in Stranger Things outside of Dustin, in my opinion. I love me some Erica. Lucas is great. Mike's great. 11's great. Erica. Erica over all of it. We love some Steve. We got hints at a Robin Vicky scenario at the end. Robin finally finding some happiness. Steve finding no happiness at all. Dustin losing a friend. I can't remember his name. I can see his last name, but that dude deserves an Emmy. Like, give him the Emmy right now. I thought he deserved it in season 2. He's such a solid actor for somebody that age. Like, just an incredible actor. Loved him. But we had to run down. You and I watched it probably in different times, different chunks. I don't know when you caught the last episode, the 2.5 hour feature length film that had me like gripping the couch for most of it. They set it up so well to think like any person here is about to eat it. Yeah. Like, you don't know who's coming away from this. Yeah. With arguably the most badass shot in the history of cinema. Eddie Munson on top of the trailer, absolutely shredding with a red lightning storm behind him in like an apocalyptic landscape, was incredible. Do I question where the electricity is coming from? Yes, I do. But absolutely love this. It was sad. We had a bunch of comebacks. We absolutely was set up like a wrestling match. I was thinking the whole way they booked this fight to have a comeback at the end, so the crowd would pop when
The hot tag. Yeah,
we absolutely had a hot tag.
Everything is pro wrestling.
Yes,
You know this.
yes. What are your thoughts on the end of season 4?
Yeah, I have so many thoughts. I'll try to be relatively concise. First, I don't know if you saw the statement from Metallica, but they were so grateful for the shout out on Stranger Things for Eddie to play their song. So
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool. Like you said, just great shredding, great moments. We don't
got
need to
Iron
worry
Maiden,
about.
Iron Maiden as well.
Yeah,
That they retweeted him, Eddie going like this with the tape, saying, "This is music."
yeah,
Like,
and then
totally agree. That's
and
awesome.
then last week we spoke about how cool it is to see Kate Bush,
Oh my
the singer
gosh.
of the
Number one.
Run Up That Hill song,
Yeah.
the theme song for this season. Her just getting all this love, decades after this song came out, just makes you feel good. In terms of my notes, though, first I think I am lower on. I think his name is Will, the guy who's dating 11, right? That's Will.
That's Mike.
That's Mike. I am not as high as others on Mike, Brad.
Not
I
a
think
not
this
a big Mike
dude-
guy.
Here's my issue. Like, this guy is positioned to be the top baby face on this show, I would argue.
Yes.
But he seems, and again, these characters are supposed to be like 15 years old,
Yeah.
but he seems so emotionally unaware to me. Granted, he gives this speech to 11 about don't fight, like don't give up, I believe in you, and then that's when everything turns around and she starts to kick Vecna's ass, which we were all rooting for. But I think about that ride in the Surfer Pizza van. We'll get to that in a moment. Where Will, I know these people now, where Will is clearly confessing his love for Mike, and Mike is just totally unaware.
Yeah.
He just ends up saying, thanks, dude. Like, I'm not going to give up. I am going to fight for 11. But it's like, bro, your best friend is clearly tearing up right now. You don't offer him a hug or a dap or anything. And I'm supposed to view you as a top baby face. So I'm not a huge fan of Mike. Thank you for letting me know his name. Not a huge fan of the dude. Love Will. I think it's super interesting that the tease at the end of the episode is that Vecna is still inside of Will. He kind of gets that like spidey sense feeling, and thus we get that landscape where I guess Vecna is in control of like the elements, and the wind, the sky looks like the shape of a spider, and that's who they have to, and that's how they have to defeat in season 5 as Hawkins appears to be crumbling. So that was super great. My main takeaway, though, along with your Erica love and Lucas love, I thought Lucas killed it.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Is I have to apologize to the stoner character, the surfer boy stoner pizza guy. I have no clue what his name is. I'm not even gonna look it up. Do you know his name?
I don't remember his name.
With the really bad wig, the long wig.
No, so I said right at the end when he shows up at Hawkins and he rolls into the van, he comes out.
Yeah.
I looked at Jess, as like, that dude abandoned his whole life, his family, stole a van, and just like he's just totally fine with it.
He's a spontaneous guy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so on our last episode of GI, I said that I was not a huge fan of him. I didn't think the character was as funny as the masses did. And the wig is just like, okay, they don't want to make it look real. They're just fine with it being a terrible wig. But he popped me so many times on these final 2 episodes, Brad. I forget the exact lines that got me, but I feel like he hit every scene out of the park. So I got to
pizza place, man.
Yes, I got to give it up to that actor, to the brothers in charge of the series. Like, he killed it for me in these final 2 episodes, and I am so excited for season 5. I agree with you. I think you tweeted this, that they can take a year, they can take 2 years. We can wait till 2024, because if season 4 was this good, I think season 5 is going to be epic. The last season.
Yeah, nothing to add other than as always, Millie Bobby Brown is incredible.
Yeah, we got to show love to her. Absolutely.
God, I love her work. I thought the physical transformation of Hopper's that's crazy, man. Like all the weight he lost for this. I'm assuming it was for the show.
Moxley-esque.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? He's our John Moxley. Yes.
And
Nancy.
The comeback character of the year. All the love in the world for Murray. Murray, uber babyface, blowtorching all of the demigorgons and demidogs from the heavens.
Yes. And to an unnecessary amount. Like, clearly they were already fried, but he just wanted to make sure that there was no chance.
He did not take out the demigorgon. And for some reason, there's this Final Fantasy sword laying in the middle of the arena here, where Hopper picks it up, and it's just like, all right, I'm going to go full cloud on you and just start chopping limbs off. And a great fight. Great slow-mo,
I think they were also cutting between that and another scene. I don't know if it was Lucas and the heel Jock who
it was
played
all of
heel.
them. It was all of them in slow-mo.
They kept, yeah, that
comeback.
was really well done.
All of the comeback.
Really well done.
And I loved it. And they had Run Up the Hill or whatever it's called. Yeah. The Kate Bush song kind of playing in different ways in the background through the whole thing, which has been like the holy crap, it's going down theme for the season. And at the beginning of the season, I thought for sure it was going to be just Separate Ways. I thought Separate Ways by Journey was going to be the theme because it's what they put into the trailer. And we heard it kind of early on in the season. But man, I can't say enough about the use of music and these shout outs to pop culture and them doing a really good job of making us hate a villain. I hated Billy so much in season 2. Didn't really like him all that much in season 3, but then I felt bad for him. When you find out that his dad's a piece of shit and hitting him and stuff, you start having empathy for him. Sure. And then season 3, he gets to have that shine at the end where he gets to come back from it and at least die trying to redeem himself and be a hero. And then you have, I forget the character's name, the douchey jock guy. Who dies one of the most horrific deaths.
We have to mention that. Yes.
Holy shit. I yelled when it happened because it was so unexpected. He's laying on his back and then he just gets morphed in half.
Yeah.
And
the ground is separating and
just
he
brutal.
Meets his demise. Yeah.
We think. For all I know, he's coming back as like some kind of creepy thing from the Upside Down with half a body.
I think he's done. But
I think he's done too with Toe City. But I love that Vecna created the Upside Down. I love that. Or he didn't create it, but he made it his own, and he created the Mind Flayer. He's the reason that thing exists, and it's been him since the beginning. And I love that. Both 11 is the hero of the story, but in some way she's the reason that she has to be the hero. It's sort of like I'm going to destroy the world so I can save it and have people love me, even though that's not why she did it. It's sort of, she's in that realm where she's going to have guilt for all of it forever. And I think that's a great wrinkle for her going into season 5, her guilt that she can't find Max, who was lost in her coma. And I don't think there's a way out for her. I think 11 has to die at the end of season 5.
Wow.
That's my prediction.
I was about to ask your prediction. Okay.
I think it ends with 11 saving the world like she did in season 1. Season 1, she disappeared. Wow. And I don't think there's any amount of Hopper leaving waffles out in a box for her to get her back.
You know, I was about to ask you, we got the feel-good moment of the season when Hopper and 11 were reunited in the last
so good
5 to 10 minutes of the final episode of season 4. Do you think Hopper survived season 5?
No. I also, absolutely not. But I also cried. I was like, tears of joy, you know, like, and then I was cackling while I was like, I'm so tired. And whenever I get super tired, I get also very emotional. And I was watching this and I'm like, just kind of fugly crying through this thing. And it's when she said, I left the door open 3 inches because I hoped you would be back. And it reminded me of season 2. And he was yelling at her because Mike was in the room, just yelling 3 inches to keep the door open. Yes, I thought was amazing.
Great callback. Even with heel Mike. Great.
Yeah. yes. I thought it was great. I thought this season was so good. I can't wait to go back to rewatch at some point and try to absorb everything because I feel like I'm missing a ton. I never even watched season 3 over again, and I've been wanting to watch that again. I've seen season 1 a couple of times, and I've seen season 2 I think twice. Because let's end it here. How do you feel about Netflix releasing a show all at once?
I don't love it. I think they should make it weekly.
I totally agree. I can't absorb it. I find myself flying through it. We're going like, what's the name of that character? No way in hell that happens if we have a week to talk about.
Right. And I just enjoy if we can all be on the same
it's an event
time frame of the discourse. Yeah.
Event,
and we can all be on the same, okay, here's the episode. It drops, let's say on a Sunday or a Friday. And then we have the week to create our podcast.
We get
to write our think pieces. And we're all, because it took me, you know this, Brad, it took me a while to start the season. I was several days, if not weeks, behind everyone else. So I absolutely want it to be weekly. I hope Netflix goes that route.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think thinking about like going forward, I want to see more of this, and I know they have a spinoff in the works.
I didn't know that,
but I'm a little afraid that it's gonna suck. What do you? This is I had this question pop up. That's why I was distracted. I was trying to look up characters. What do you think happens with the Russian characters?
Oh,
do we get another Yuri cameo? Do we? I can't remember his name. Is it Antov? I can't remember his name. The prison guard.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we see them again in the future? I feel like it has to happen, right?
Really?
Even though the Russian storyline feels closed off.
It does.
It does. He flew them home. How'd they get back?
Yeah.
What happens with the military? Is Owen still alive? I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There are questions that remain. Yeah. I have a different perspective on this. I don't think we see them again.
I feel like hope is going to be lost here, and they're going to be like, we need more help, and they call the Russians. And
okay, I could get down with that.
And then I can see them showing up and be like, "Hello, American," and they'll send over stuff.
I can get down with that.
And they'll be like, "We'll pay you in peanut butter and pants."
That great shout out to Jeff. Yes, I'll be watching, as I know you will.
Can't wait. All right, Tyler, I'm ready for your question too. This is
man.
So centric question.
I was gonna say, trying out our new format. First questions WWE. Now, second questions AEW specific. Brad, I just have to say that I need to give a shout out to two of your favorite tag teams, because I was very tempted to make this question about one of these two. I love Orangehausen as a team. Closing Rampage with those two. Huge pop for me. Man, Danhausen is just hitting all of my buttons right now. Again, credit to you for calling this a year ago. The dude is phenomenal. Orange Cassidy seems to be having a 2 to 3 week renaissance right now.
Hot streak, man.
I love that dude so much. Longtime listeners and viewers know that. I also really enjoyed Thunderstorm.
Yes, Thunderstorm is awesome.
The pairing of Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. I mean, what more needs to be said? They're the best. However, my question for you has to be about the TNT title. Our new TNT champion, Wardlow, defeated Scorpio Sky, an American top team, in a street fight to open Dynamite. He is our new champion. Brad, you and I have speculated about the possibility of Wardlow becoming TNT champ, really ever since he beat MJF. Here's my question for you, or more of a request or even a demand. I want you to, I guess in the next 3 to 4 minutes, fantasy book this Wardlow title run. What is the best version of Wardlow as TNT champ? Are there feuds that you need to see? Is there a certain length of time that you want his reign to comprise of? We have Miro dangling there. Miro seems busy with House of Black, which give me all of that. Yeah. But fantasy book this. What do you want to see from Wardlow as our TNT champ?
I think they're gonna use other guys that aren't as built to go up against Wardlow first. I think that's the way they've been doing TNT titles. Like they'll have a Lee Moriarty, or they'll have maybe even the captain will show up, or we'll get Tony Nese, who had a great outing. Like the thing about Tony Nese is he's incredible.
He is.
And he should be getting more love. For some reason, he's not. I don't know if it's just because the gimmick is too generic. He's got like a Carmella problem. His generic is I have abs. That's his generic gimmick.
Yeah. And those DDTs he survived on Rampage. So yeah, he's phenomenal. But I agree.
He's an incredible worker. He's very good on the mic. I need him to do something with that to make him more than, because I love the premier athlete thing is really cool, but it's not really, I don't know, it's not working. And I don't know, having him with Mark Sterling is a perfect pairing because that gives him a little bit of that extra. But if we remove Mark Sterling, what does he have? I'm not really sure where he goes. But I would love to see Wardlow and Tony Nese cut it up. I would love to see. Actually, I think Wardlow and we probably saw this already. I know you're not a big fan, but I would like to see Wardlow and Jake Hager. Just the biggest hosses on the card on any given night are the people that I want to see Wardlow going up against, including Claudio. And I think that one's going to be the one, right? Like that one will be the match. And I don't know if it's Claudio's first loss. I don't know if he takes it from him. I feel like he's got bigger things to do in the company. I just don't know who they start a feud with, because the most obvious answer there is MJF, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Darby always going after that belt, but Darby doesn't strike me as a credible threat to Wardlow. Wardlow's just too much meat. So I don't really know. Maybe Samoa Joe drops the belt, the Ring of Honor belt, now that he's done. I think he's done filming and he'll be back soon. He was shooting something, and he'll be back, and maybe we have him do it. But at some point we need Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston. But good Lord, is that going to be
so many dream matchups?
So I don't know where Wardlow goes. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, feels a little Hangman to me. Hangman exceeded all of my expectations with his run. He had the best run still to this day, in my opinion, the best champion run in AEW so far, unless you combine Moxley's too, because right now Moxley's having a good one. It was the moment. What do you do now? The moment's passed. And I don't know because they didn't know what to do with Thunder Rosa. Can't throw Nyla at the new champion every time in some stupid food related thing.
Right. Yeah. I'll say this, given how the TNT title has been booked over the last few months, and it's been a real downer, I think, on many of the shows. I do have a lot of hope that this can really resurrect the belt, because we've had some signature TNT champions. We've had Darby, we've had the late Brody Lee, we've had Cody. I really think Wardlow is that. Yeah. Thank you, Miro, of course, arguably the greatest TNT champion of all time. I think Wardlow really is that dude who can make this belt mean something again, and I hope he has a long run with it, man.
Me too.
I would not hate him having it all the way through. I mean, even Double or Nothing next year, frankly.
I don't think he should drop it for an incredibly long time until the villain is right, or until he turns or something. Like, it's got to be somebody that can rise up to him and his level. And right now there's nobody on it that could get there and be credible with it. I want to see Wardlow run through people for a very long time before dropping it. I just don't know who the people are that he's going to run through first, because I have him do an open challenge like Cody did. I think that would be a great way to do it. And then it's
very likely.
It gives him time to build on his character, on the run, all of that stuff. Have him do an open challenge because nobody can touch him. And then it give us like have him like Fuego's the first one that comes out.
Poor Fuego. He just won on Dark this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anybody really. Ultimately, you know who I really want to see take it from him?
Who's that?
Who do you think it is? I just want to see if you think
MJF?
No, absolutely not. He needs to win the world championship.
Bray Wyatt.
Great guess, Takeshita. I want to see.
Of course.
I want to see Takeshita win the strap. That, granted, he probably should win the All Atlantic, but
sure.
But man, I love that dude. Ooh, did he have a match this week?
He's been taking some losses, but you know that his time is coming.
That's the great thing about the TNT title. Make an open challenge, and then you don't have to worry about rankings.
Yeah, give me that.
Would you like to jump in on what you think, other than the long title run?
No. Okay. I agree with you, man. I just was really happy. Again, this is another performer who seems really beloved backstage. It was just great to see him get the reaction he did when he hit that swanton, Brad,
man,
off the top rope. And then I love when wrestlers just like take a moment to bask in how awesome they are. He hits the swanton, he gets up slowly and just looks at the crowd like, I did that. I'm that good. And the crowd was just a raucous environment. They were totally for him. It was great to see him get that big of a pop again during a match. So I'm just elated, man. I can't wait. I'm as excited about a Wardlow TNT title run as anything happening in the company right now.
Well, speaking of things happening in the company, Tyler, it's time for the State of 19 Media.
And now it's time for the State of the Biz.
Smooth transition. I love it.
Thank you. Mo and Willie of Hip Hop Hidden Gems dropped a brand new episode. Check out their latest, in which they break down famous lyrics of the rhyme animal himself, Public Enemy's Chuck D.
Also, tune into the Baseline NBA podcast to hear co-hosts Cal Lee and Fort Lauderdale luxury Warren Shaw as they discuss the latest buzz around NBA free agency. You don't want to miss this.
Okay, I'm gonna butcher some things here, I think. Are you a basketball junkie and a hip hop head? If so, we have the pod for you. Check out Desmond's podcast, Hip to the Games. In the latest episode, he and his twin brother, I'm not saying it, I didn't hear it yet.
Oh, you're good, Devon.
Okay, I'm like, this is Devon, Devon, or Devon. I'm
totally
not playing with this, right?
Totally Devon. I did tap into their episode. Very, very good episode.
Haven't had a chance yet. Reminisce over the greatest songs and players in NBA 2K history. They will be the official podcast of me working in the garage this week.
Love it. It's a big summer for the Orlando Magic and its fan base. On the latest episode of Close Up Magic, superfans Steven and Malik welcome Eric Fawcett of NBA Canada, great work name, to discuss the recent draft and current Summer League storylines.
Yeah, NBA Canada is an absolutely great work name. Finally, shout out to Mike Steff, former GI guest and fellow podcaster. Check out his show, The Salty Thoughts of Donnie Yu, for detailed, passionate commentary on the latest news in sports, professional wrestling, and New York politics. Tyler, you got to tap in recently, did you not?
I did, yeah, man. I really, obviously we know Mike's a great guy, and his show is just so enjoyable. On their most recent episode, he brought on his daughter, Kay, and they reviewed Money in the Bank. So I was listening, I was enjoying it, and selfishly, I was picturing you and Freya when Freya boots me out of my co-host seat in about 10 years. It was just so cool to see Mike talking wrestling with his daughter. It was a really great one. So shout out to him, shout out to his daughter, shout out to all of 19 Media for the great work they're doing.
Yeah, this is a good one. So let's get to question 2 for me, AEW, as we hit the hour mark here. Kingston and Takeshita, they had an excellent wrestling match. So it's going to lead. The post-show angle had Eddie Kingston cutting a great promo, setting up a match, a Discovery requested gimmick match. Discovery and Time Warner, the recent merger, they requested that there be some Shark Week related something on the show. And Tony Khan came up with an idea. The Jericho Appreciation Society will be suspended above a barbed wire ring in a shark cage. However, after the match, a lot of people in the wrestling community came out to mock Eddie Kingston's body type in the match, to match the way that they mocked Adam Cole and his body type, but in the opposite direction. My question is this a product of the same American tribalism we see in politics, or is it the legacy of WWE style star building, or is it something else entirely?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I don't know if that. I know it's not an option.
No. It's what I thought you would answer with.
Yeah. American.
You call it nuance. Yeah.
I really believe we could spend a whole 90 minutes of GI just discussing the nuances of American tribalism in its many forms. So I definitely think that's at play here. But I think what really speaks to me, Brad, is the image or archetype that WWE has crafted for us. Again, this is not to bash WWE. No. We certainly have thoughts on some of their booking, but they have a certain way that they've liked their performers to look. And granted,
we are We are not here to say like, oh God, these jacked, huge, in shape, cardiovascular.
Drew McIntyre and Ricochet. Yeah,
who needs it?
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah, and certainly I think we've even seen over the last 5 to 10 years that they're not as maybe rigid in that one archetype as they used to be. For example, Kevin Owens comes to mind. We know he's not world champion. Yeah, but this dude was in the main event of WrestleMania earlier this year. So I do think WWE has really crafted this archetype that we just expect our wrestlers to, if they're not 6'4" and 280 pounds, they at the very least have a 6-pack and have 0 to 5% body fat at most. It's interesting because I saw some of that discourse online. These really odd burner accounts who are, tweeting about Eddie Kingston not having an ideal body and how can you take this wrestler seriously? And, they were even saying that about Gunther. And then Gunther, became jacked and here he is now. But yeah, I think it's tribalism, man. I think it's some of like the criticism of Adam Cole now being used against Eddie Kingston in a different way, saying Eddie Kingston's overweight. It's just so silly. I sort of pay no mind to it. And I think it's so ridiculous that people are using their energy and their time to just spew this really hateful, and I would even argue, Brad, just body shaming rhetoric. I think when I think of body shaming, I often think of the effects that it has on women. But it seems like in the wrestling community over the last 2 to 3 months, it's the discourse I've seen at least has now really been focused on men and shaming the different bodies of some of the top performers we see. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's nonsensical. And Adam Cole and Eddie Kingston are two of the greatest performers, not only in AEW, but again, I would argue in the world. So yeah, it sucks to see that tribalism. It sucks to see that, people think the keyboard warriors, if you will, without sounding too much like Jim Cornette, the keyboard warriors of Twitter think it's funny to criticize the looks of these guys. What say you? Oh no, I think Brad's internet. Don't tell me Brad's internet is gone again. I'll probably be receiving a text from him in just a moment. Brad, if you're in the ether and you can hear me, you're frozen, my man. I see your face and you're squinting and listening to my perspective. Maybe I text you. I don't know. I can also keep talking. So, yeah, with the tribalism, I think, Brad, you're spot on with that term. And frankly, Eddie Kingston, when we think of the baby faces on the AEW roster, I don't know that there are many men or women who are ahead of Kingston in terms of the consistent reactions that he gets from audiences. So this dude does not need to be 6'4" or, again, have a 6 or an 8-pack and be 250 pounds. Like, this guy connects with audiences around the world in such a unique, authentic way. I can't think of any wrestler that I would even compare Eddie Kingston to. That's how unique he is in his delivery, in his presentation. People just really want to root for him and want to see him do well and hopefully win a championship. I'm of the mindset that not only do we want to see Eddie Kingston featured in prominent roles, but we want to see him win gold at some point. I got the message from Brad. Okay, his internet did go down. Hopefully he will be back at some point soon. We will be back. GI will return in just a moment.
All right, now that we have internet again, I don't know what's happening here. This place is haunted. It is time for Tyler's favorite segment, a rose. The return of a rose from Tyler, the Bachelorette preview. Take us away, Tyler.
And now for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
So, Brad, first I have to start by thanking you for this excellence that you created. This intro video. You have created so much art for I promise I won't go long on this. You've created so much art for GI. Again, listeners, viewers, it's all Brad that does this, and this is by far my favorite, man. It's so ridiculously perfect. I thank you for that. So the Bachelorette is back. I wrote down a few notes here. This is our first preview because as we record on Sunday, July 10th, the first episode of season 19 is tomorrow, Monday, July 11th. I know you will be tuning in, Brad. I know our listeners and viewers will. You know I will be. Here we go. So this is the first time in Bachelorette history that there are two Bachelorettes in the same season. This is a big deal. Gabby and Rachel were in the final three last year of Clayton's season. Clayton did not choose them. We went over how he had a heel turn. He didn't communicate the breakups effectively. It was a really bad look, Brad. So Gabby, she is 31. She's a former NFL cheerleader and registered nurse from Denver. And then Rachel is 26 from Chicago, and she is a commercial pilot and flight instructor. They have over 30 men who are vying for their hearts. We don't know exactly how the format is going to work and if there's going to be Gabby's guys and then Rachel's guys. We don't know any of that yet. That's why it is so paramount that we all tune in tomorrow night to the first episode. However, Brad, I want to give you a quick preview here. In terms of the men that are going to be on this season, one of my favorite parts of every Bachelorette season is figuring out which professions are an absolute work. So, for example, there is a dude named Tremaine, and there's not a lot of brothers in this season, by the way, which I was disappointed to see. But Tremaine is a brother. He is 28. He's from Illinois, and he is a crypto guy. Brad, I thought crypto was done. I thought we all agreed it was a fallacy. It crashed, and we're moving on. But apparently, that's his business. Kirk, I'll give you a moment to respond in a moment, I promise. Kirk is 29. He's from Texas. He is a college football coach. So I'm excited to see, does that mean he's at the University of Arizona? Does that mean he's at Dubuque University? What does it mean that he coaches college football? And is that a work? There is a dude who is a mentality coach. I have no idea what that means, Brad, but sign me up. That sounds like a great profession. And then finally, I put this in our doc for you. Already, my favorite contestant on the season is a gentleman, a brother named Nate. He is 33. He is an electrical engineer from Illinois, but none of that is why he's my favorite, my friend. If you look at the Google Doc, he is rocking an absolutely epic Eric Killmonger from Black Panther hairstyle.
Yes, he is.
Which I am absolutely unequivocally here for. So off the bat, I am already rooting for Nate. I'm rooting for Gabby. I'm rooting for Rachel. I hope they find the love they're looking for. And Brad, A Rose is back. It starts this week officially. Gear up.
Thank you for that. I'm looking at this picture right now. I was trying to pull up the cast so I could see an overview of who was going to be on it, but I'm being assaulted by loud ass ads every time I open something up. So
say less.
It'll just have to happen some other time. But I'm excited for you. What's next? The next one on here. No, I'm genuinely excited for you.
I appreciate you.
I'm sorry you're not in the cast. But I'm excited for your last question here. That dude has great hair. I'm currently rooting for him as well. Probably the only one I'm going to root for. I did look up Kirk's thing, and
you did?
Just just thunderous ads running through my head, trying to pull up the cast. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I did put it in the. I know we're moving on. I did put it in the chat. Man, you will have plenty of time to review these 30 plus, 32 or 33 guys. And next week on A Rose, I will be giving you the full breakdown episode 1. I will make predictions for who are the heels, who are the baby faces on this season. It's going to be a party.
Eric with an H. Avon. Man.
There's a meatball enthusiast. I forgot to mention that.
I just saw it.
Yeah.
James.
Absolute work.
James with the dimple.
No chance that dude lasts past week 4. No chance.
Hayden is a leisure executive, and that dude looks like he should be wearing a white polo getting towels. Like 100%.
Poor Hayden.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Jacob. Yeah, we're not done at all here.
Jordan
Jacob,
the drag racer.
Drag racer. Jacob
Gone.
is our.
Let's go. God. English teacher.
He is. Yes, there is another English teacher from Nashville, Tennessee.
No
One
chance,
dude.
though. No chance, because the bread's not going to be coming in nearly enough, I think. You see, English teacher, you live in Tennessee and you're an English teacher, you can't afford shit.
Very nihilistic. Joey, who is right next to John on the Bachelorette page, he's 24 and his job is twin. So I think the gimmick is he has a twin that's also on this season. Are they unemployed?
His name is Justin Y, and he's other twin.
Right. And then we have our lone Arizona bachelor, Jacob, top row, or second row from the top. He's 27, absolute Alex Hammerstone vibes, and he is a mortgage broker. So I guess we can root for him too, right? He's our Arizona dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder what small business that Tyler owns. The 25-year-old from New Jersey.
I support any Tyler. Okay.
I kind of want to know more. I'm going to click Tyler and see if I get spammed here. Tyler is an Italian stallion. I'm already over it. Tyler's a heel.
You're done. Yeah.
He isn't afraid to be over the top and says that he wants the kind of connection that is so profound others will blippity bloppity blue. Let's see. What do we do? Tyler likes country music. No. All right. That's a no on Tyler.
I have one final question for you, Brad.
Yeah.
If you locate Logan, he's in the fourth row. 26.
I will reopen the tab. Hold on.
Logan is 26. He's a videographer, allegedly, from San Diego, California. And tell me this dude doesn't give you Pat McAfee meets Austin Theory vibes from that picture.
He does not. He gives me Pat McAfee meets a Ninja Turtle.
You know what? We'll take that as well.
I'm trying not to be a dick here, but that is a bad picture.
We can both see Pat. That's what
he does. Like the lower half of his face gives me McAfee. Eyebrows up gives me Theory.
The hair.
Everything in the middle gives me Hallmark Christmas Special.
Okay. Yeah, the jacket he's wearing is very.
That's why. I think that's why. I look at it and I'm like, he's definitely in a Balsam Hill Christmas tree laden room talking about his bakery that he owns and hoping that it survives. So maybe the bigwig female executive that's coming from money that is in an unhappy relationship with somebody on the other side of the country is going to fall for this former high school sweetheart that were friends but lost touch. We watch a lot of Hallmark Channel around here, man. That's the plot to every single one of them.
That's the plot to again, shout out to Jess. Brad, I think we're getting closer to you tuning in to at least one segment of this season. I don't need you to commit to a full 2 hours.
I'll watch a whole 2 hours. Jesus Christ, dude.
Every week. Don't miss it. If you can at least tune into
not at a time. It's broken up into chunks, right? Like it's not 2 hours a pop.
No, there are commercials.
That is too long. I love Stranger Things, and I went 2.5 hours. I don't know. 2 hours?
Never say never. I'm going to convince you. I know I am.
I will watch the Twitter recaps.
I think this was a great debut for a Rose. I am so stoked, Brad. But I'm also stoked to ask you my final question. Again, with this new format, we're going to try something out a little bit different for our third and final question.
As you can see, we did not ask our third question. If you are still with us, thank you for riding with us through the technical difficulties. It is about 5 hours after we recorded. I have gone swimming. I have had brisket. I currently am drinking coffee out of a Twin Peaks mug, and life is pretty good. The pod, however, is over. We're really happy with the content that we gave you this week. We liked talking Stranger Things. Hopefully you did too. We ran a poll and it seems like people want us to talk about more than just wrestling. So if you have a suggestion for us, please drop it in the comment section on iTunes or Spotify. please get to us. You could leave a comment on the YouTube page, on the YouTube channel. You can get us at Wind Duster. That's my Twitter account, or at Tyler J. McDowell for Tyler's, at GIPod19 on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on Instagram at The Real Wind Duster. And I think Tyler's is slightly different, but I don't have it on me right now. So hit him on Twitter, or you can get to the GI accounts and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. Thank you for riding with us this entire time. We really appreciate the support, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully you enjoyed the show this week. Gimmick Infringement is part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.